Hey everyone, so this screencast will just be a very quick introduction and overview to Edmodo and what it looks like. There are tons of long and in-depth tutorials that get into all the nuts and bolts of it all over YouTube, but just to give you a really quick overview of what it looks like and what it's possible, I've made this screencast here for you. So when you first sign into Edmodo, you'll probably immediately recognize its familiarity to Facebook. You've got this feed here in the center. You've got your different groups here on the left side, which are what they call classes. And then you've got some options up here as well, which we'll talk about. And then these are what you can actually share out with your students. Notes, which could be something like, hey, check this out. And of course, you can attach files, you can attach links, and then assignments, quizzes, polls, and snapshots. So we'll take a look at all those, but just to give you an overview of the main home screen here, this is what it looks like. So in general, the way it would work is you would want to create different groups for each of your classes. At the elementary level, you would maybe just need one group. You could divide it up for like your Pride days. If you wanted to have some differentiated groups, you could divide it up that way as well with your groups. You could divide it up by subject area if you wanted to have a different math group, different English group. But in general, if you've got the same students all day long, it would make sense to have them within the same group. And then from within there, you can send out posts and assignments and everything like that to just that specific group. You can also send out things to individual students if you want to do it that way as well. And the way it works, once you set up the group, you'll have this group code so students can really easily just, they would click join a group, they'd add that code, and then they would be part of the class as well. They do have an iPad app for Edmodo, but it's not as functional as the website. So what most teachers who use Edmodo do is just have the students access Edmodo through the browser on the iPad instead of using an app on the iPad. So that's a very basic overview. You can send stuff out to the students. They can comment on things, reply to things, like things. They can't have private messaging with each other, which I think is really good, so you avoid that possibility for issues arising there. But they can comment on things. However, it's not an anonymous system. It's impossible for you to have an anonymous student in there because they have to sign in with their, what you guys would use would be your Google accounts. So then it's linked to their Google accounts and you have accountability because they all have their names, and so you can see exactly what they say and what they comment on and what they like. So I think it also helps to build digital citizenship in that way and help teach them responsibility for the things that they say online and do online, and treating each other with respect and sort of focusing on your core values as well. So anyway, a few things to point out. You've got your library here, which is where you can add in all your files and resources. You can link it up to your Google Drive if you want to import everything over from Google Drive. And so once you have things in your library, then it's really easy to send out like an assignment where you can link to something to your library. Or if it's on a website or you want to just attach the file, that's fine too. I like this send later a lot, so you can schedule things to be sent out at a later time if you want to. And then you can also, they have a built-in gradebook as well that you can use, but to set it up to integrate with the gradebook you guys already have, I don't know exactly what that looks like, so that may or may not be useful. You can send out quizzes where you can create multiple choice, true, false, short answer, fill in the blank, and matching. It'll grade everything that it can, but like the short answer, it won't grade for you. And then you can also add a time limit to it, which is kind of nice if you want to do that. For the poll, this is what's right here. If you want to get a quick read on where students are at with things, you can send out the poll as well. And then the snapshot is meant to align with the Common Core state standards, where you could send out a quick question centered around a Common Core standard and then see exactly where students are at in regard to that specific standard is what that meant to be. You've also got the spotlight up here, which is a new addition that they've added, where you can find lessons and activities that other teachers have created, a lot of which are free, and add those in to send out to your students. You can filter by grade or subject area here at the top, or you could search for a particular topic. So that's a great way to get things that other teachers have used, and they've got the rating system, which is nice, so you can see what other people are liking. And the other thing, there are communities here. If you hit discover new communities, you can follow subject area communities to get ideas for what other people are doing in different subject areas, which is nice as well. And then they've got the app store here, of course, as well. Lots of free and paid apps where you can add in all sorts of things, like Scoodle Jam, for example, is a whiteboarding app. You've got classroom management apps, all sorts of everything you can imagine that you can add in to your Edmodo integration so that students can use those apps from within Edmodo also, which makes it easier to have them create something in that app and then turn it in and submit it to you as an assignment or as a project. So again, that's just a really quick overview of how you can use Edmodo to have online discussions, send out assignments, send out notes, and digitally manage your classroom that way. So it's a pretty popular LMS. It doesn't have the option of providing things like audio and video feedback currently, but otherwise you can provide like comment feedback for students and things like that. And overall, most people really like Edmodo a lot because it's very quick and intuitive to pick up, especially with its similarities to Facebook and other social media sites. So that's Edmodo. Hope that's helpful. And you can shoot me a message if you ever have questions, mike.carlin, Karlin, @gmail.com.